In the hushed courtroom of Oak City, the air is thick with tension. Judge Thadius Crawford, known for his stern demeanor and zero tolerance for what he calls courtroom theatrics, sits on the bench, his gaze fixed on the young man standing alone at the defendant's table. Logan Hayes, just 17 years old, faces the judge with a calmness that belies his age. The courtroom is filled with curious onlookers, their whispers echoing through the polished halls, all drawn by the unusual sight of a teenager representing himself in superior court. If you enjoyed this heartfelt story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing tales. Your support keeps us going. Judge Crawford's voice cuts through the silence, dripping with contempt. Young man, this isn't some high school mock trial. You're facing real charges that could affect the rest of your life. Where exactly did you get your law degree? TikTok University. The courtroom erupts in laughter, but Logan remains perfectly still, his expression unchanged. There's a quiet confidence about him, a sense that he knows something the rest of the room does not. The judge leans back in his chair, his eyes narrowing as he studies Logan. You still insist on representing yourself, he asks, his tone laced with skepticism. Logan's response is steady and clear. I do, Your Honor. Under Ferretta Vif, California, I have the constitutional right to self-representation, provided I make this choice knowingly and voluntarily. The prosecutor, Claire Sullivan, shifts uncomfortably in her chair. Something about this case has felt wrong from the start. As Logan begins his opening statement, the courtroom falls silent. His voice is measured, his arguments precise. He cites obscure legal precedents and recent court decisions with the skill of a seasoned attorney, leaving the prosecution scrambling to keep up. The judge watches, his interest piqued, as Logan methodically dismantles the prosecution's case. The courtroom is captivated, the initial skepticism giving way to a growing respect for the young man who dared to challenge the system. Logan's performance is more than just a defense. It's an exposé on the corruption that has plagued Oak City for years. Each question he asks, each document he presents, reveals another layer of deceit. The courtroom buzzes with whispers as the implications of his revelations sink in. Judge Crawford, once a symbol of the system's inflexibility, now finds himself at the forefront of a movement for justice, his earlier hostility replaced by a growing determination to see the truth prevail. As the trial progresses, Logan's composure never wavers. He stands tall, his voice steady as he faces the judge and the courtroom. His arguments are not just about his own innocence, they are about exposing a system that has failed too many for too long. The courtroom watches, captivated by the young man who dared to stand up to the system, his actions sparking a wave of change that will ripple through Oak City and beyond. In this moment, Logan Hayes is more than just a defendant. He is a symbol of hope, a beacon of justice in a system that has long been shrouded in darkness. His story is one of courage, determination, and the unyielding pursuit of truth, a testament to the power of one voice standing against the tide of corruption. As the courtroom holds its breath, waiting for the judge's decision, one thing is clear: Logan Hayes has changed the game, and the world is watching. As the courtroom drama unfolds, the scene shifts, offering a glimpse into Logan's journey leading up to this pivotal moment. We see him hunched over stacks of law books in his bedroom, the soft glow of a desk lamp illuminating his focused expression. His best friend, Mason, lounges on the bed, tossing a stress ball into the air. "You're crazy, you know that," Mason says, catching the ball. "Just let your mom hire a lawyer." Logan doesn't look up from his notes. "Can't. They'd ask too many questions about what I've been studying for the past 3 years." His voice is low, intense. Mason sits up, his expression serious. "This is about your dad, isn't it? About what really happened 3 years ago?" Logan finally looks up, his eyes intense. "They framed him, Mason. Dar Blackwood and her cronies, they couldn't beat him in court, so they manufactured evidence, claimed he tampered with the jury, and now they're trying to do the same thing to me." The scene returns to the courtroom, where Logan stands before Judge Crawford, his posture perfect, his voice clear and confident. Your Honor, the prosecution's case rests entirely on circumstantial evidence and flawed technical analysis. By the end of this trial, I will prove not only my innocence, but also demonstrate a pattern of misconduct that calls into question the very integrity of this prosecution. In the gallery, a man in a dark suit slips out his phone, typing a quick message. The Hayes kid knows something. How do you want to handle this? The response comes moments later. Whatever it takes. Shut him down. Logan continues his cross-examination, his questions precise and methodical. Mr. Reynolds, could you explain these anomalies in the access logs from the past 6 months? The IT administrator blinks, clearly not expecting such a technical opening question from a teenager. As he begins to answer, Logan allows himself a small smile. The first crack in their carefully constructed case is about to appear. Claire Sullivan watches, her unease growing. Something about this case has felt wrong from the start, but Dar Blackwood had been insistent. Make an example of the Hayes boy, she had said, her voice sharp. Now as Logan's line of questioning methodically dismantles the prosecution's technical evidence, Claire begins to see the cracks in the case, and in her own role in it. The tension in the courtroom is palpable. Judge Crawford leans forward, his interest piqued. The boy's line of questioning is surprisingly sophisticated, methodically dismantling the prosecution's technical evidence. The cross-examination continues, each question revealing another flaw in the prosecution's case, each document presented adding another layer to the growing sense of a larger conspiracy. Logan's revelations are not just about his own innocence, they are about exposing a system that has failed too many for too long. The courtroom watches, captivated by the young man who dared to challenge the system, his actions sparking a wave of change that will ripple through Oak City and beyond. As the truth begins to emerge, the judge starts to realize the depth of the corruption and the significance of Logan's actions. The courtroom holds its breath, waiting for the judge's decision. One thing is clear, Logan Hayes has changed the game, and the world is watching. As Logan's cross-examination continues, the courtroom becomes a stage for a drama that transcends his individual case. Each question he asks, each document he presents, peels back another layer of the corruption that has plagued Oak City for years. The tension in the room is electric, the air thick with anticipation as the extent of the conspiracy begins to unfold. Logan's voice rings out clear and confident as he addresses the court. Your Honor, the evidence shows a clear pattern of corruption extending from local officials all the way to the state capitol. This isn't just about my case. It's about a system that has been manipulated to serve the interests of the powerful at the expense of justice. The courtroom erupts in chaos. Whispers turn to murmurs and murmurs to outright shock as the implications of Logan's revelations sink in. Judge Crawford bangs his gavel, calling for order, but the dam has broken. The truth, long suppressed, is flooding the courtroom, and there is no containing it now. In the midst of the turmoil, Judge Crawford's expression changes from skepticism to realization. He sees now what Logan has known all along. The corruption is deep, systemic, and far-reaching. The judge's voice cuts through the noise, firm and resolute. Given the extraordinary evidence presented, this court finds clear and convincing proof of a criminal conspiracy extending to the highest levels of state government. Logan's actions have set in motion a chain of events that will change the course of justice in Oak City. His father's conviction is overturned, a symbol of the system's failure finally rectified. But the impact of Logan's revelations goes far beyond his family. The exposure of the corruption leads to arrests, resignations, and the beginning of systemic reform. The justice system, once a tool of the powerful, is now facing a reckoning. As the courtroom begins to empty, Logan stands with his family, the weight of their struggle lifting. The journey has been long and fraught with danger, but the truth has prevailed. The community watches, inspired by the young man who dared to stand against the tide of corruption. His actions have sparked a movement, a call to arms for justice and reform. In the quiet moments that follow, the themes of justice, perseverance, and the power of truth resonate through the courtroom. Logan's story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fight for what is right, no matter the cost. His actions have shown that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the truth can emerge, and with it, the promise of a better future. The fight for justice is ongoing, but Logan's triumph has ignited a beacon of hope. The community rallies around the cause, determined to ensure that the changes he has set in motion will last. The sun sets on Oak City, but the light of justice burns brightly, a testament to the power of one voice standing against the darkness. The battle may be won, but the war for justice continues, fueled by the unyielding spirit of those who dare to challenge the status quo. If you enjoyed this heartfelt story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing tales. Your support keeps us going,